Alright guys, welcome to part 6 of my Perdita video painting tutorial. In this one we're going to be painting the hat. Now I wanted to make this a dark, worn, weather look. But so I started with this really dark grey. It was a Valero model colour called grey black, I think, or coal black, something like that. It's one I like to use for whenever I'm painting black. Rather than go straight to black, I use this. It's just a really dark grey, and it does mean that afterwards you can wash it with a black wash and still shade it. So I'm just thinned it and I'm painting it around the hat. My idea is to make this look beaten and worn and old is to stipple it, well, actually paint small dots of colour, going from the outwards to the brim of the hat, getting lighter and lighter. So as you can see, there's some of the that's the technique I'm going to use. And the colours I'm just mixing in tan again, bit by bit, adding more and more tan each time. And then when it gets to a certain point, I start adding in bone white and do a sort of like a rough edge highlight around the outside of the hat and around the edges. Unfortunately, as you'll see in a bit, I actually ruined this look, and because I tried to use an ink colour to sort of unify the whole thing. But the problem is the colour I had, which was a burnt umber, really wasn't the right colour to use. What I really needed was some sort of sepia colour. But you'll see that in a bit, which is fine because it means that in this video I actually show you two ways to do this effect. So this way I'm doing small dots, as you can see, and I'm sort of focusing the brighter dots further out, and sometimes I'm going back to a darker colour and just putting in more dark spots. But the whole idea is you put that many little dots of colour, all different but similar colours, so that adds this kind of this texture, and when seen from a sort of like a slight distance away, it really looks good. A really nice leather effect. So as I'm getting brighter and brighter, I think I'm starting to add in some bleached bone now. And when I'm doing the edge highlight, I'm not running the brush all the way around the edge again. I'm trying to I'm touching only certain parts to give it so it makes the edge look like it's a bit more worn. It's not a straight edge. It's, you know, it has some chips, some dents, some scuffs in it. So I hope you agree with me here that this kind of looks really cool. Gives it that kind of like beaten leather look. It's a shame I go and ruin it. But before I ruin it, I'll give it a quick edge highlight again. This was pure bleach bone, and then I use a Devlin mud wash, which I think was an appropriate colour for this. And then after the wash dries, then I go and ruin it all by using a burnt umber ink rather than a sepia ink, as you'll see in a second. I also get underneath the hat, which is I've been neglecting with this technique because I figure it's probably not worth it, but the Devlin mud will do. So there we go, all dry, looking brilliant. And then I put this colour on it, and I immediately go, that's horrible, use a paper towel, rub it off, and unfortunately I peel off paint all the way down to bare metal, as you can see there. So not to lose hope, I just go straight back on with the dark grey. One interesting thing that happened, because the paint had peeled off in certain places, it's actually three-dimensional. You can actually physically see where the paint's peeled, but I didn't mind it because it sort of gave that effect that this is like an old, leather hat. It's been beaten, it's been well worn. And so this time around I wanted to do it faster. I'd put all that time in before, so instead of doing dots, I kind of did a stippling motion instead, which was much quicker, and I think actually it turned out a bit better. because the stippling made the little tiny dots, which were better, which were more in scale to what I wanted than trying to paint individual dots myself. And as you can see, it was a much faster technique. I've been using a much older brush in all of this, by the way. This isn't my Kolinsky Sable ones, because this sort of stuff will really ruin your brushes. So there we go, I'm just adding in the extra highlight around the edge to make it look worn, and overall I was actually quite happy with the second pass. I think it looks slightly better. This is a shame I had to ruin the previous one. I also use a Devil in Mud on this to unify everything a bit, and I put far too much on, so I'm wicking most of it off. And there we go, that's how to do old beat up leather hat. Stay tuned for the next one, guys.